Mythic Plus is a little bit of a shit show for Dragonflight right now, which I don't understand. As someone who pretty much only plays Mythic Plus, I don't get what people are complaining about. The general consensus between like streamers or whatever are that they're only releasing half of the new Dragonflight dungeons along with half random old dungeons for the first season, and then season 2 they're adding in the other half of Dragonflight dungeons with another half of random dungeons from the past. People are complaining because they're like, oh, we're getting this new expansion with all these new dungeons we've never done before. Let us have them, let us do them. And I think that what they're doing is great. I like that they're splitting them because you got to think about it this way. If you're a raider, every 6 months, as long as you're not in a weird expansion like Warlords of Draenor where there's only 3 raids, or Shadowlands where there's only 3 raids, every 6 months you get a new raid and a new season for Mythic Plus. You just do, except this last one, you do the exact same dungeons over and over and over and over again. But if you're doing raids, you get a fresh new start of raiding. So they're trying to switch that up like they did with Season 4 into Dragonflight. Because yes, in Dragonflight, you will have all these new dungeons, but they're going to get old quick too, you know. You're going to do those when you're leveling quite a few times, probably. And by the time that you get to cap, you're already going to be doing those in normal mode to get gear, then heroic to get gear, and then mythic to get gear. They're going to get boring. So the way that they're doing it is perfect because you get half the dungeons that you've already done in the past, but they're going to be dungeons we haven't done in quite a long time. Like Court of Stars again, though, that's a little rough. I don't know why they keep bringing back Court of Stars. I don't like that dungeon, but whatever, it's being brought back. And half the Dragonflight dungeons. So that'll get us through for 6 months. Then the next 6-month cycle will come, and then we get the second amount of random old school dungeons and new Mythic Plus dungeons from this expansion. So everything's going to be fresh every 6 months, just like Raiders do, or get. And then after that, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but if you look down the line of what has happened in the past, it's always been around midway in the expansion, you get a mega dungeon. Like in Legion, we had Return to Karazhan. BFA, we had Mechagon. Shadowlands, we have Tazavesh. So I'm sure halfway through this, like Season 3 will be our mega dungeon. Now, what they can do there is most likely they're going to have none of the current dungeons for Dragonflight, because in Season 1 we do half of them, Season 2 we do half of them. So by the time Season 3 comes around, do it like Season 4 of this expansion and just do none of the new dungeons and add the new mega dungeon. Then with Season 4, you can do all the Dragonflight dungeons plus the mega dungeon. And what I would like to see is some extra random dungeons in there from the past as well. That way that you get a total shakeup. Although we could see it happening, the opposite of that is in Season 3, we get all the Dragonflight dungeons, and then Season 4 is more like Season 4 for Shadowlands. But yeah, with that changing up, plus Mythic Plus now going to 20, which will give us gear that's pretty close to rating gear, Mythic Plus is looking pretty solid as like if you want to do that as your main thing in World of Warcraft, which is good for me because I think that Mythic Plus is the most modern version of WoW out of all of World of Warcraft. Like rating is getting a little bit antiquated comparatively to other MMOs where you kind of just drop in and fight bosses with just a few other people, you know. Finding 10 to 30 other people, or 10 to 20, whatever, 25 people is hard to do. Dropping in and just finding, 4 other people to do a Mythic Plus is easy. It's, you don't have to time anything. You just drop in and find someone. Like even if you're DPS, you could, as long as you're like not in like the dead of night, you start your own key, you'll fill it up within 15 minutes tops as a DPS. Tanks, it's instant. Healers, it's instant. So yeah, I think Mythic Plus is the direction they should continue taking the game. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV just started theirs, or are soon to start their Mythic Plus type dungeons too, because I think it's like the greatest thing. Like when I went over to Final Fantasy to play that, That was the main thing that I missed, was Mythic Plus dungeons. Because once you're done raiding for the week and you're just done, you know, Mythic Plus is fun. Like, you can keep doing it over and over and over and over again, and help people through it if you like helping people. Like, even if you don't need gear or anything anymore, it's just it's fun, and it's like more along the lines of what video games are nowadays, where not everyone has the time to know life, which I wish everyone did, because I miss those days. And I'll probably make a whole video about that, but I really miss the no life video game trend that used to be for MMOs and games like that, where you had to no life it, and that was the awesome part. Which, I mean, they still could, and the games would still sell probably just as well. But everyone nowadays feels entitled to their gear. I'm going off on a rant anyways. That's all I wanted to say, is I think that the Mythic Plus, the way that they're doing it, is really good, and I'm glad that they're splitting it up, because doing all those dungeons in Season 1, unless they completely took all those away like they did in Season 4 of Shadowlands, it would be a slog to keep going over the same dungeons over and over again, and grinding the same gear over and over again. The only difference being it's an upgraded item level. Anyways, rant over. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.